Virgil Ortiz versus Tim Tszyu. This would be a firefight. They both come forward. They're both vicious to the body. They both have that Mexican fire inside them. Dude,
fantastic.
I don't know why we can't get this fight, man. We need to see this. I don't care if it's for a belt or not. At this point, this is one of the best fights in boxing.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another fine edition of the Pound for Pound Boxing Channel. It's your boy, Mac. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What fights are you guys looking forward to this year or by 2025? We've got our picks, so stay tuned. And as usual, I will be handing this over to my co-host. Now let's talk some boxing.
Welcome back to the Pound for Pound Boxing Channel. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And man, we're going to get straight into this. We're going to be talking about an anticipation fights that need to happen by the end of this year or possibly in 2025. Man, first off, let's start and kick it off with one of the fights that was already scheduled to happen but got canceled due to the guy getting injured. And we're talking about Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol. Man, what do you think about this?
Man, that's a fantastic fight. You know, Bivol's skill versus Beterbiev's power. But to be honest, Beterbiev does got some skill, man. And I just feel like that'd be just a fantastic fight to watch for the fans.
Yeah, that's one of the fights that I think we've all been wanting to watch for a long time now. I think ever since Bivol beat Canelo, man, everybody's just been wanting to see who the king of that division is. And we still don't know because although a lot of people say Beterbiev, you know, he's the stronger fighter, knocks almost everyone out, 100% knockout ratio. You know, this guy has 3 belts. Bivol is a technician. You know, this guy will go in there and just outbox everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. It looks like this guy has no weaknesses. I mean, other than him not having too much power, it seems like this guy really comes in and gives his best performances all the time. He has that pendulum step. He uses good boxing ability, and he has a perfect jab.
As of now, I have Beterbiev. I have Beterbiev catching Bivol because Bivol can't be perfect for all 12 rounds. He clearly gets hit, you know, especially by lower opposition. So I feel like someone like Beterbiev would catch him.
I just believe Bivol is going to be the winner due to the fact that he has the better boxing ability. I think we have seen Beterbiev getting touched up. He has a monster chin, but the thing with Beterbiev, this guy's already 40. So, you know, how would he do against someone much younger with much more speed? I just think Bivol beats him off points. Maybe a unanimous decision win after 12 rounds. But to bring up a next big fight that has to happen before the end of the year or in 2025, man, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
Man, that's a great fight right there, man. I can't wait for that one.
That fight, guys, I mean, if we're talking about 2 titans at heavyweight fighting, I mean, at this point, they've both taken losses. We just seen Tyson Fury take his first loss against Alexander Usyk, the same guy that beat AJ twice. I think this fight's perfect. I think this would be an entertaining fight from the press conference all the way to the end of that bell. I think it's a fun fight for the public. They're both great fighters. They're both dominant in what they do. But me personally, right now, I do think that AJ is just in his prime, in his second win, man.
Would you say that AJ knocks him out, though?
That's very hard to say because even though Tyson Fury does get chinny, he never gives up. He never gives up. He always gets back up. I mean, he's literally been dropped by one of the most powerful hitters in all of boxing, Deontay Wilder, and he's gotten up.
Yeah, but AJ's no Wilder. AJ's clearly the better boxer, and I just feel like, you know, it depends on Fury, his mindset, how it is at that time. If he's confident after beating Usyk, let's say, then I could see Fury winning. But for now, I do got AJ knocking him out cold.
One thing I will say, though, is whoever the winner is, they won't be the heavyweight of the generation because Usyk already smoked
already too
these
late
guys.
for that.
Usyk already smoked these guys, but guess what? It doesn't matter because these guys will still come to fight, and these guys will still be the second behind Usyk. Another amazing fight that needs to happen, guys, and I'm tired of mentioning it on this channel, but it just has to happen. Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. Man, a big fight for the Mexicans, for all of boxing. What do you think?
I think, you know, I wish that fight would happen, but I'm kind of over it at this point, man. I feel like we got to see it as wishful thinking because, you know, Canelo obviously doesn't want to fight him. Canelo obviously just wants the paydays. So, but if that fight were to happen, I would favor Benavidez just because Canelo's a little older. You know, he possibly might drop Benavidez, but I do favor Benavidez.
I mean, if we're talking about experience, Canelo has it. Canelo has all the tools to be Benavidez.
The savviness,
and I truly do believe that if they were both in their prime, Canelo's a better fighter. I mean, it's hard to argue against the guy. He's a legend, Hall of Famer, probably one of the best fighters to ever fight. I mean, it's going to go down in history. But at this moment, I want to say I do agree. I feel like there's a reason he doesn't want to fight Benavidez, and he does want the $200 million from Saudi. You know, he's looking for excuses not to fight the guy, and I think
Would you
it's
say
just
he's trying to cash out?
that's a possibility. But more than anything, I think he just wants to, you know, make his money and retire. You know, but apart from that, I think they're two solid fighters. My respects to both fighters. I just think at this point, Benavidez is too much, too big, too smart. He has the conditioning, the gas tank at 168. So, again, though, that's still an amazing fight. We still don't know who would win that fight. We just lean towards Benavidez, but Canelo's a great, so we can't count him out. Another amazing fight that really does need to happen, and I'm really looking forward for this fight to happen. Crawford versus Boots. Terrence Crawford versus Jaron Ennis. Man, another guy that is possibly ducking.
Yeah.
You know, we got to be serious. I mean, Terrence Crawford, of course, he's way more proven than Boots, 2 times undisputed. He's going to fight at 154. His pro debut coming up soon. But is he ducking Boots?
Honestly, I don't think he's ducking Boots. I feel like he obviously knows Boots ain't that much of a draw. You know, he had a fantastic performance last night. But I feel like that would be a great fight. Battle of the Slick Styles. If I were to favor a fighter, I would have to favor Crawford, obviously just because he's proven. But, you know, I don't want to, you know.
Does Boots give him the best fight, though, out of all the guys around his weight division?
If you're trying to say, yeah, I would say Boots gives him the best fights. I feel like he's young enough and he has the most difficult style. You know, when I was watching him, he was fighting in southpaw and orthodox. He was switch
hitter. They're both switch hitters. Though.
Yeah, but the thing
you know what this fight reminds me of, actually? It reminds me of a Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hitman Hearns.
In a way, yeah, in a way. I just feel like Boots just gets hit a little bit too much. He's a little bit more dirty on his defense.
Yeah, I think that's still a fight we need to see, man. I think everybody wants to watch that fight. Crawford, if you're watching this, man, fight Boots, dude. This fight needs to go down to make
For the
boxing.
fans, man.
This will just make boxing that much greater. Turkey Al-Rashid, if you're hearing this, make that fight. But again, another fight that's getting announced that they're in negotiations right now. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Vasily Lomachenko, man, for the crown at 135. Let's settle the score. I mean, for the most part, I think we all know that Gervonta Davis was getting protected a lot in the beginning of his career. You know, he was being promoted by Mayweather, so we know how Mayweather rolls. But, you know, at that time, he didn't want to fight Lomachenko. But now that Lomachenko hasn't looked the best, he's taken losses to Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Davis wants to fight him. So what happens in that fight?
Honestly, I could see Loma winning the very early rounds. You know, at typical Tank fashion, he'd be losing the first rounds.
I agree.
What is it called? He's a slow starter. But the only thing is that would he be able to catch Loma? Loma is very defensive-minded, very offensive-minded as well. You know, he's a complete fighter.
You know, I want to say that Tank wouldn't be able to afford losing the first couple rounds to Loma because Loma figures you out, man. I mean, Loma's one of those guys that he's called the Matrix for a reason. He
Special
figures
talent.
you out. He's a special talent. The guy's a dancer and everything. He's a ballerina. But I just think that right now no one stops Tank at 135. Man, I really do think that power could go places, man. Possibly all the way up to 154 if we're being serious. And although I do think Vasily Lomachenko has a lot better skills than Tank, I just think Tank as the power is just, you know, that's the equalizer right there. And apart from him having good boxing skills as well, I just think it's his time. And I think we've seen a lot more weaknesses in Lomachenko, of course, exposed by Teofimo and Haney. So I think Tank would get the job done there.
How much of a chance do you give Loma in that fight?
Oh, that's almost a 50-50, but I have to be real. I want to say it's a 60-40 Tank winning. But if there's anybody that could give Tank a run for his money and could beat him, it would be Lomachenko, guys. But again, that fight needs to happen very soon, guys. Another fight that doesn't get talked about as much, I feel like, since these guys haven't had the best performances as of late, but would still be a great fight, stylistic-wise. Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. Need to see that fight happen, guys. I mean, Teo hasn't looked the best, you know.
They both haven't looked the best, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Devin just got dog-walked by Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
But, you know, Teofimo, even though he wins, it just seems like they're lackluster. It seems like, you know, he's not performing at the highest level, especially since he moved up to 140.
But I'm pretty sure you already think this, but he fights at the level of his competition.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
I feel like someone like Devin Haney would bring out the best of Teofimo Lopez.
Now, that style would be a fun fight to watch. I think Devin Haney, probably a better complete fighter. I think Tio brings more power and more, fun to the game. He's a little bit more exciting to watch. But, we do know that Tio struggles a lot with that style. With the guys that move like Sandor Martin or Jermaine Ortiz, it seems like he doesn't know how to cut off the ring.
I wouldn't classify Devin Haney as a mover.
But he has that moving ability, and especially after that Ryan Garcia loss, I'm sure that he's going to start using it a lot.
Yeah, now he is for sure. Now,
you know what I mean? So apart from that, though, we do know that Tio is a counterpuncher. So if Devin does try to come walk Tio down and gets a little bit too comfortable,
yeah,
you never know.
I just feel like Devin Haney's reach, his jab, you're right. He's going to be like using it all to his advantage, and I feel like Tio, depends how his mindset is at the night.
Yeah, but the thing is with Tio, it's a hit and miss with Tio. He could be either a pretty good fighter or he could be a great fighter. And I think just like you said, for that fight, the best of him would come out. And honestly, for my pick, I'd probably have to say Devin Haney, 12th round. I'm going to go split decision. But don't get it wrong, guys. Tio is the takeover.
No, you're right about that. And if I were to pick one, I would have to lean. Right now, currently, I would go with Teofimo Lopez winning a split decision just because Devin Haney, I feel like once you get knocked down, especially as many times.
Yeah, you're right about
the beating he took is going to take a mental factor on him. Even Oscar De La Hoya even commented on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And honestly, like I said, I could see Tio winning as well. I just think Tio struggles a lot with those type of styles. But our last fight, and probably the most underrated fight that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, this fight was actually supposed to happen as well, August 3rd on this big Terrence Crawford undercard, and it got canceled. But, man, we still need to watch this. Virgil Ortiz versus Tim Tszyu. Man, another fight for the decades. This would be a fire fight. They both come forward. They're both vicious to the body. They both have that Mexican fire inside them. Dude,
fantastic.
I don't know why we can't get this fight, man. We need to see this. I don't care if it's for a belt or not. At this point, this is one of the best fights in boxing. Just like Better Be Bivol, I think this would electrify the crowd.
Dude, honestly, you could say that should have been the main card of that fight. That would have been for sure the highlight of the night.
I think that would have been the best fight on that card. And that card is stacked, guys. That card has Andy Ruiz, Pitbull, Terrence Crawford, Rayo. That fight has a lot of fighters, and I think that would have been the best fight. I mean, just stylistically, guys. Virgil is an offensive fighter that comes in with Robert Garcia behind him. He has a great jab, great angles. He has great power. This guy knocks everyone out, 100% knockout ratio as well. But Tim Tszyu a warrior, man. This guy has
both warriors.
This guy had a cut all over his, gushing out of his forehead against Fondura, and this guy didn't stop.
This guy didn't stop. Forward, man.
You gotta respect fighters like that because this guy's willing to take anybody on. And man, I just wish that fight happens. We need to see that fight as boxing fans. At this point, I don't know who wins that fight.
Man, I would just say, Virgil has fought like lackluster competition, so I would have to favor Tim Tszyu, man. I feel like, obviously we haven't seen that much of Virgil recently, especially since he's been getting like first round knockouts.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell.
But it's against lower competition. So at the end of the day, I would have to go with Tim Tszyu knocking out Virgil. I feel like, I love Virgil and I love the way he fights, but I feel like that would be his downfall, and that's where he'd get knocked out.
If I have to pick a winner, I got to go Virgil. I know Tim Tszyu a warrior, and it's going to be a close fight, and I do see both of those guys getting dropped. But I think Virgil's just a complete package, man. This guy's smart. This guy has a great team behind him. This guy has the angles. This guy has... I mean, remember when he fought Mean Machine?
Yeah, but
the guy almost got put down, and next thing you know, bang, Virgil's back.
When was the last time he actually fought a killer? When was the last time he fought someone that was actually at the level where,
Wasn't he Terrence Crawford's mandatory, and Terrence Crawford didn't want to fight him?
It doesn't mean anything. You could be anyone's mandatory.
Regardless.
William Skull's a mandatory.
Regardless, I believe Virgil has the tool set. In order to beat Tim Tszyu, he will have to bring the best out of himself, but I do believe Virgil could do it. But again, let us know what you guys think down below. Do these fights need to happen in your guys' opinion? And what fights do you guys want to see by the end of this year or possibly next year? Let us know down below. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy Mac. Thank you guys once again for tuning into the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what you think down below, and we're up.